pasti ada nilai minusnya. Pasti mungkin dia itu kayak kebanyakan dosa dulu gini-gini. Mungkin dia itu gini-gini tuh. Saya itu yang nggak bisa saya terima gitu. Dia sampai umur berapa tuh? 3 tahun nggak bisa jalan, Mbak. Kan nggak seimbang. Jadi dia tuh jalannya ngesot, terus ngesot. Baru belajar jalan pertama, ini sudah luka jahit 3. Terus lagi dia gini belajar jalan lagi. Ini giginya di sini. Habis, jatuh patah gitu.
Pertama kali saya sendiri melihat Resya, dia itu anaknya sangat unik. Di sisi lain, dia memang awalnya tidak memiliki rasa percaya diri. Jadi dia sendiri berusaha untuk mendekatkan diri biar dia itu bisa ikut tampil seperti itu. Karena anak yang spesial seperti itu kalau tidak kita yang memulai untuk ngasih peluang, dia nggak bakalan berani untuk mencoba. Jadi dia yakin kenapa dia bakalan bisa, karena di tari Bali itu tidak cuma tangan aja yang bisa dipakai untuk bergerak, bahkan seluruh tubuh bergerak, terutama mata. Jadi dia kan Resya itu matanya masih ada gitu istilahnya. Jadi sangat-sangat sebenarnya peluang untuk tampil itu mereka sebenarnya bisa, karena orang yang mau ngasih peluang itu aja yang nggak bisa. Jadi saya yakin dia pasti bakalan bisa untuk tampil menari biarpun dengan keterbatasan tidak memiliki tangan.
Begini Bu, Bapak, ketika menjalani sekolah umum awalnya Resya itu semua kayak mimpi. Mimpinya apa bisa? Apa mau? Seberapa kuat sih mentalnya untuk menghadapi orang-orang yang kayak begitu? Ketika nanti ada orang yang membuli, sudah dikasih semangat lagi. Sudah temennya tidak mau ngajak, distandarkan lagi gitu. Memang sih awalnya ketika temennya itu ada yang tidak suka, mau mundur. Tetapi saya selaku kakeknya tidak bisa kayak begitu. Saya support lagi, saya dorong lagi, mau dia. Nanti ada rintangan lagi, dia mau mundur, tidak dikasih lagi, dorong lagi. Gitu. Akhirnya bisa seperti sekarang.
Kalau saya sih lebih khawatirnya dia di kecapean ya, karena jadwalnya dia tuh untuk les full sekali. Dari hari Senin sampai hari Sabtu tuh full sama nari itu. Jadi sebenarnya dia dapat istirahat cuma di hari Minggu. Pulang sekolah jam 12 gitu. Jadi biasanya kalau dia kecapean tuh sampai sakit ya, Mbak. Dan sakitnya Resya tuh nggak pernah sebentar. 2 minggu, 3 minggu. Itu yang bikin saya gini. Kadang, aduh Dek, gimana kamu masih kuat, kira gitu. Kuat kok gitu. Pokoknya saya ngikutin dia. Tapi saya selalu bilang, kalau kamu hari Senin belajar lari, hari Selasa kamu harus bisa kamu ngambil les yang lain. Jadi saya harus seimbangkan. Karena kan menurut saya, karena apa ya, otaknya dia bagus, nggak bisa juga pakai nari aja ke depannya. Kalau saya sudah nggak ada, biar adalah keterampilan lain yang memang bisa dia pakai menunjang selain menari gitu, pakai bekal hidup dia nanti.
Taruh. Mau dia agak maju lagi. 2. Taruh. 3.
Waktu itu kakunya luar biasa. Ngambilnya, aduh, jangan dah Mbak. Suka tiang ban. Untung sekarang udah sering deh sama budak, jadi dia mengenal orang. Berani dia kenalan, berani dia. Gak Resya, kenapa sih pengen nari, bisa dibilang. Pengen ngebanggain mom, kakek sama nenek, sama Haji. Biar dia tahu, biar mereka tahu kalau Gak Resya tuh bisa. Biar nggak ada yang bilang kalau orang cacat tuh nggak mampu. Apa namanya, dulu waktu punya adik ya, kebayang nggak dia tuh ngomong adiknya pakai kaki. Aduh, yang pernah shock tuh, dia gendong adiknya yang tinggal mandi, adiknya nangis, kakinya dinaik, kan tidur, diselumpitin kakinya kayak gini. Terus yang lagi satu kan gini, naik dia, plak plak, bubuk, jangan gini dek, ibu lagi mandi, nggak ada siapa, jangan nangis. Adiknya diem kok, diuyang-uyang gini-gini sama dia. Saya dari situ, aduh dalam hati, aduh jatuh adiknya, kayak enggak bu, nggak bakal jatuh, masih kecil dia itu.
Harapan saya untuk Resya, ya, mudah-mudahan dia tuh mau melanjutkan ke sekolah yang lebih tinggi, dan yang harapkan juga dari pemerintah khususnya mau memperhatikan anak-anak yang disabilitas untuk bisa melanjutkan jenjang sekolahnya. Kalau tergantung daripada orangnya, semoga dia bisa difasilitasi apapun kekurangan dia, apalagi dia kurang keadaannya secara finansial, dia agak kurang, supaya bisa difasilitasi lah oleh pemerintah sehingga dia mempunyai semangat yang lebih tinggi.
Kalau dari menari itu sebenarnya emang sih umat Hindu itu mengharuskan anak-anak generasi penerus itu biar bisa menari, karena untuk pelestarian seni budaya itu memang kalau nggak dari diri kita sendiri, siapa yang harus kita kasih tahu untuk yang memang pelestarian budaya itu kan tidak semua orang mau seperti itu. Jadi syukur kalau di Bali itu masih ada kaitannya dengan upacara agama, jadi anak-anak itu dari generasi yang kecil, dari TK itu sudah mulai kepingin atau berminat untuk belajar biar bisa tampil juga kayak ngayah di pura seperti ini. Jadi menurut Tiang sendiri pelestarian itu sangat penting sekali biar tidak punah. Untuk kedepannya nanti kalau misalnya kita ngayah itu secara tidak langsung kita berbakti kepada Ida Sang Hyang Widi.
Spesialnya Resya, ya. Karena Resya itu mendapat bagian dari yang kuasa itu seperti itu. Ketika nanti seorang kakek tidak memberikan support dan membangun semangatnya untuk menjalani kehidupannya, apalah gunanya? Oleh karena itu, sang kakek ini harus berusaha mencari jalan, entah jalan mana yang jelas apa tujuan kakeknya dan juga tujuan Resyanya itu bisa terkabulkan, walaupun tidak sesempurna apa yang Tiang harapkan, begitu. Akhirnya tujuan yang terakhir, harapan terakhir dari kakek, bagaimana Resya itu bisa hidup layak sama seperti anak-anak normal lainnya gitu. Cuman itu saja.
Keinginan saya cuma satu. Dia kan pengennya masuk universitas. Dia itu sudah pengen punya cita-cita. Karena dia terinspirasi dari YouTube. Yang guru yang ada di Jepang yang pakai kursi roda yang nggak punya tangan itu, nggak punya kaki, tapi dia bisa jadi seorang dosen. Jadi saya pengen apa yang Gek Resya mau itu ada jalannya untuk mencapai itu. Entah dijembati oleh pendidikan pemerintahan, entah dijembati oleh lembaga sosial apa. Pokoknya saya mau dia itu untuk orang difabel, disabilitas. Pokoknya biar maunya mereka bisa lah, aspirasinya mereka tercapai lah. Biar udah kurang, minder lagi nggak bisa maju gitu loh. Kalau sekarang ada fasilitas kayak menari kayak begini kan, dia merasa saya bisa untuk melanjutkan hidup tuh, jadi dia lebih semangat tuh menurut saya tuh. Terbukti dari Gek Resya lebih riang dia. Ya jadi Gek Resya itu selalu bilang, Mom dukung aku aja, aku pengen menspesialkan diriku sendiri. Biar orang lain tahu, aku ini orang spesial walaupun aku nggak punya tangan. Itu pengen nunjukin bahwa aku tuh nggak punya gini, tapi aku mampu, aku berkarir, aku berkarya.
Pengen nari terus walaupun orang berpikir gak nggak bisa, dan gak juga pengen ngebanggain ibu, kakak, kakek, nenek, sama adik, keluarga lah gitu. Terus gak juga punya mimpi, gak pengen nari di depan Pak Jokowi. Buat kakak-kakak yang di luar, kita tuh harus semangat, pede, nggak boleh gitu, nggak boleh malu-malu.
Hi, I'm Devini Hermawan. I will tell you why you should taste gado-gado as one of the most iconic Indonesian cuisine. So, just like any other salad with dressing, the dressing itself takes the major part to make gado-gado really delicious. Here it is, rendang. We just put, this is the white pepper, shallots in, as well as the beef. This is our rendang. Now we can assemble them into a beautiful bowl of soto ayam Lamongan. A simple but special perkedel kentang. The flavor is really intense.
Indonesian flavor with Chef Devina every Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Western Indonesia time.
That's all for today's edition. Indonesia has different culinary flavors, and I will be back with another authentic menu. See you and goodbye.
Hello and welcome to TVRI World's News Watch. We are airing live from Jakarta, Indonesia with the latest reports from Indonesia but also from around the world. I'm Stephanie Silitonga and coast died. Over 100 flights, mostly domestic at Haneda Airport, have been cancelled due to the plane crash. Thousands of passengers were stranded at Tokyo's Haneda Airport following Tuesday's deadly plane collisions on one of its runways. The incident occurred when a Japan Airlines jet collided with a Coast Guard plane at the Haneda Airport at about 17:47 local time on Tuesday.
5 of the 6 people on the Coast Guard plane were confirmed dead, with the captain surviving but sustaining severe injuries. After the fatal collision, both aircraft caught fire on the runway, sending heavy plumes of smoke rising, while the larger passenger jet was engulfed in flames. All 379 people aboard the Japan Airlines plane, an Airbus A350, were able to evacuate safely, though 14 people sustained injuries. The crash forced the airport to shut down all runways for several hours on Tuesday evening, leading to cancellation of 226 flights to and from Haneda, affecting over 40,000 passengers. Despite the reopening of 3 runways, about 100 flights were still expected to be cancelled, disrupting the travel plans of some 19,000 passengers. I was supposed to take the 7:40 flight this morning, but it got cancelled, and I had to change for an evening flight instead. I've been waiting at the airport here for 13 hours. The timing of the reopening of the runway involved in the accident has still not been confirmed.
Emergency workers cleared the rubble after buildings and cars were damaged in a drone strike on Beirut that killed Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied that it killed Saleh al-Aruri in a drone strike in the Lebanese capital on Tuesday, but military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said Israeli forces were in a high state of readiness and prepared for any scenario. Al-Aruri was killed on Tuesday night, January 2nd, in the southern suburbs of Daiyeh, a stronghold of the allied Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, signaling the conflict between Hamas and Israel could be expanding to engulf more of the region. Displaced Palestinians living in a tent camp in Rafah mourned Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri, who was killed in Lebanon. They hope his death will encourage other leaders to emerge and fight for the Palestinian cause. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied that it killed Saleh al-Aruri in a drone strike in the Lebanese capital on Tuesday, but military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said Israel forces were in a high state of readiness and prepared for any scenario. Al-Aruri, 57, who lived in Beirut, was the first senior Hamas political leader to be assassinated since Israel began its offensive against the group in response to the rampage on October 7th. The international community must impose a solution to the Israel-Hamas conflict as the warring sides are unable to come to terms, EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell said.
Borrell also expressed concern over the possibility of an escalation of the conflict following the killing in Beirut of the Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Aruri in a drone strike. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied that it killed al-Aruri. The assassination was a further sign that the nearly 3-month war between Israel and Hamas was spreading across the region, drawing in the occupied West Bank, Hezbollah forces on the Lebanon-Israel border, and even Red Sea shipping lanes. Borrell also said he would present to the EU member states a proposal to create a mission to contribute to security in the Red Sea. The proposal is set to be presented and would require unanimity among member states for it to go ahead, he said.
Kim McConnell, an official with the UN humanitarian agency OCHA, said 5 people, including a newborn baby, were killed in an airstrike in a Gaza hospital.
Here at Al Amal Hospital, it's a Palestinian Red Crescent Society facility clearly marked with the Red Crescent emblem on the roof. And just 2 hours ago, you can see behind me and all around me, this area was hit. 5 people were killed here, including a 5-day-old child. No child in the world should be killed, let alone one sheltering under the emblem of a humanitarian organization. This war has to end. You can see just behind me the diapers. This was a space where babies were living. This is a space where children were living. You can see on the floor the blood. The world should be absolutely horrified. The world should be absolutely outraged. A child was killed here today. 4 more people were killed here today in a space that should be safe, but there is no safe space in Gaza, and the world...
The Palestine Red Crescent Society (PRCS) released a video of people evacuating from its building in Khan Yunis after it was hit by an airstrike. In the footage, people were seen running down a flight of stairs with debris on the ground. Medics were seen carrying an injured person with a stretcher out of the building into an ambulance. The video clip's locations were verified as Khan Yunis by buildings, roads and trees which matched satellite imagery of the area. The roof and doors inside the buildings also matched previous file imagery uploaded by the Red Crescents of the locations. Reuters was not able to confirm the date the video was filmed. And up next, news update on the preparations for Indonesia's 2024 elections Road to Ballot segment. The General Elections Commissions held a meeting with each of campaign teams of presidential and vice presidential candidates as well as TV stations discussing preparations for the third debate session.
The meeting held at KPU office in Menteng, Central Jakarta, discussed locations and stage layout for the third debate session scheduled on Sunday, January 7, 2024. The meeting was presided by KPU Commissioner Agus Melas and attended by a representative from each campaign team and also TV stations that will broadcast the third debate. Melas said there will be no change in the format of the third debate as well as its duration. The difference is on the layout, design, and the location. The third debate will be held at Istora Senayan, Bung Karno Sports Stadium in Central Jakarta on Sunday, January 7, 2024. There are 6 sub-themes in the upcoming debate, namely defense and security, international relations and globalization, as well as geopolitics and foreign affairs. Melas said that KPU has also prepared 11 panelists for the upcoming debate. He expected that the implementations of the third debate will be better than the previous ones. He also believed that each candidate team already has the experience related to debate implementation.
The General Elections Commission's KPU has reminded voters that they can still transfer to other polling stations across the country at least 30 days before the election's day. That means the due date for the transfer will be on January 15.
KPU Commissioner Betty Epsilon Idrus said in Jakarta, voters could change their place to vote to other polling stations if needed. This exception is based on a Constitutional Court ruling number 20/2019. However, they need to submit their applications to the KPU before the due date on January 15, which is 30 days before Election Day on February 14th. Betty says there are 9 conditions where voters are allowed to apply for transfer to other polling stations. The first 5 conditions are people with disabilities who live in social homes, people under treatment in drug rehabilitation centers, students who study in schools and colleges outside their regions, people who change their residential addresses, and people who work in other regions outside their original domicile. The 4 other conditions are allowed to apply for transfer 7 days before elections or February 7th. They are people who have been transferred by their employers to other places, people who are treated in hospitals, people who become victims of natural disasters, and inmates in prison.
Now let's move on to our next topic. Still from Indonesia, President Joko Widodo said the government would continue equal urban development through the distributions of village funds.
Ya, saya ingin memastikan bahwa di awal
In his working visit to Pagak Village, Banjarnegara Regency, Central Java on Wednesday, President Joko Widodo met with head of villages across Banjarnegara Regency. The president said that since 2015 until now, there has been 539 trillion rupiah village funds, or nearly $35 billion distributed to villages across Indonesia. The president said that this amount is not a small number when compared to the budgets of various other development projects. He gave examples of projects such as airports and dams that have budgets much smaller than the village funds. President Joko Widodo also mentioned road development in villages. He said that construction of rural roads has reached 350,000 kilometers. The total length of rural roads built across the country, according Jokowi, is much longer than the development of toll roads. Therefore, the president expected in the future, village funds can be managed and utilized to provide more benefits to the society.
Vice President Ma'ruf Amin has revealed 3 important strategies to further develop the Indonesian capital market, namely through technological innovations, financing, and synergy.
Speaking at the opening of the first trading day at the Indonesia Stock Exchange, or IDX, in Jakarta on Tuesday, Vice President Ma'ruf Amin said the current global economic conditions showed varied progress. While the economic growth of most developed countries continues to decline, some other countries, including Indonesia, are still able to maintain their good economic growth. Global economic slowdown due to inflation pressure, commodity price fluctuation, and geopolitical fragmentation clearly requires anticipation and flexible policy response that is measurable and reliable, particularly in the fiscal and monetary sectors. For those reasons, Vice President Ma'ruf delivered 3 important things in order to advance the Indonesian capital market. Firstly, increasing innovation and utilization of digital technology and services to investors in the capital market. The application of technology and digitalization play an important role, including in deepening the capital market. Secondly, optimizing and developing the potential of financing through the capital market by increasing communities' literacy. Exchanges no longer exclusively belong to giant corporations, but also as financing support to small and medium enterprises, or SMEs. Thirdly, expanding the network and synergy of stakeholders to increase stock trading in the IDX. IDX and Self-Regulatory Organization, or SRO, with support from Financial Services Authority, OJK, to maintain trading operations to the maximum and continue to increase a conducive and attractive capital market ecosystem for local and foreign investors.
And after the break, we will come back with many more news and updates from Indonesia and, of course, from around the world. Stay with us.
Luwih apa cek sekehe cerita liyananira.
Lontar Yusuf is a narrative poem about the life of one of Islam's most popular prophets, Prophet Yusuf.
Lontar itu naskah, dan kebetulan ini banyak orang bilang itu naskah kuno. Sebetulnya awalnya lontar itu ditulis di daun lontar medianya itu. Sekarang teknologi itu semakin canggih hingga disalin ke media kertas.
Welcome back to Newswatch. You're still watching TVRI World. Irina Semenova serves as a driver for the World Health Organization's WHO in Ukraine, operating a heavily armored vehicle during interagency convoys. Her role involves not only driving the vehicle, but also assisting colleagues in navigating challenging field conditions. Let's delve deeper into her remarkable story.
My name is Irina. I'm a driver, WHO, Ukraine. We work in the field, driving convoys. We help our colleagues to be delivered from one point to another. We can provide any actions if it needed for our mission in our country. We are like a huge family from different places. It's a heavy armored vehicle. The mass is from maybe 4 to 7 tons. It's a high-risk area, as our security told us. Maybe we should be scared, but at least for me, I'm not, because I know why I'm doing and for what. Our job is not simple, but we are the team. We assist each other. It was my first time. I saw destroyed villages, buildings, not only buildings, but fields, forests. In that place, people lived and grows, and now it is impossible. We don't know where is these people. I'm Ukrainian. Can we stop? You can stop for sure. Just a second. Someone says that maybe we can do more. WHO can do more, but definitely I know that we don't do less. It's important, and I'm proud that what we do for Ukrainian people, it's very important. And Ukrainian people should know about this. It's not about me, it's about our strong WHO team, because I believe that everyone operates according to the principle that each is responsible for our common result. I would like to express my gratitude to all units of WHO. Every job is very important in this situation, in this organization. I am very glad to be a part of the team whose activity is it's very important for Ukrainian people. Because now in this shocking wartime, we need to do everything we can, maybe more.
Elvis Presley fans who missed out on seeing their hero when he was alive will be able to catch a glimpse of the king of rock and roll perform later this year thanks to virtual reality.
Elvis Evolution will be an immersive, interactive experience for fans to follow events through Presley's life and music, said Layered Reality, the immersive entertainment company developing the show.
Elvis Evolution is the world's first immersive experience based upon the story of Elvis. So you'll understand more about the man, the cultural influence and the music of him. And you'll go through a journey effectively, travel back in time to the 50s, 60s and 70s, and you'll experience firsthand this journey that Elvis went on from a small town in Mississippi to the largest stage in the world in Las Vegas.
Global interest in the singer, widely acclaimed as the best-selling solo music artist of all time, with more than 500 million records sold, is undimmed 46 years after he died, aged 42. McGuinness said Elvis Evolution would appeal to both die-hard fans and those curious to discover more about the can't help falling in love singer. After London, Elvis Evolution will travel to cities including Las Vegas, Tokyo and Berlin, he added.
A simple fingerprint test to check for breast cancer could eventually replace the mammogram, saving lives and money and increasing the number of tests carried out, according to researchers at Sheffield Hallam University.
Fingerprints contain sweat, and the test looks at the molecular makeup of a fingerprint using mass spectrometry, a system that measures the atomic weight of particles and molecules to identify them. The pioneering research relies on matrix-assisted laser desorption ionization mass spectrometry, or MALDI-MS, using machines made in the UK by Waters Corporation.
The principle of the experiment is that literally from the smear of a fingerprint, we can do some smart chemistry on that sample, and then we can interrogate the sample with the mass spectrometer, so with the approach that we have here, and that gives us a very complex picture of the underlying molecules which are present there. So we get a picture of the molecules, and then by using those molecules and the different fingerprint, if you like, of the molecules, we can actually determine control samples from potentially cancerous samples. So we get a range of different molecules that allow us to be able to determine A from B.
The hope is, in the future, a simple non-invasive fingerprint test could replace the mammogram, which is not only painful but involves traveling to a specialist center with trained staff for an appointment that takes at least 20 minutes. Although Professor Francis says mammograms and biopsies are all we currently have to identify breast cancer.
Bookshelves and TV cabinets make for a perfect jungle gym for Harley, a grey moggy. She can't get caught in the government-built apartment because the law threatens a fine or worse, the pet's potential evictions.
Harley lived with her owner Shamir Osman in defiance of a 34-year-old law banning cats in the government-built apartments, which house the vast majority of Singaporeans. If caught, the law threatens a fine of 4,000 Singapore dollar, or worse, the pet's potential eviction. Luckily for Harley and her dad, Singapore plans to lift its apartment cat ban later this year. Authorities rarely enforce the ban, which only applies to the High-Rise Housing and Development Board, or HDB apartment blocks, where 80% of 3.6 million Singaporeans live, and has long been flouted by countless cat lovers.
One sister still with us.
It's not clear what made the Singapore government change its mind, but the tipping point appears to be an official survey last year that showed 9 out of 10 respondents agreeing that cats were suitable pets to keep, including in HDB flats.
A 4-month-old baby panda born in Moscow Zoo has finally got a name. Meanwhile, a South Korean zoo unveiled new baby panda twins before their officially debut to the zoo visitors. Let's take a look.
Katyusha, which translates to forever pure in Russian, is the first ever panda born in the zoo's 100 years. She was born in late August 2023 from a pair of giant pandas, Ruyi and Ding Ding, that arrived in the zoo in April 2019. The arrival of the pandas in Moscow came after years of collaboration with the Giant Panda Nature Reserve in China's Chengdu. As from Yongin, South Korea, the twin cubs Rui Bao and Hui Bao, marking their 6-month birth anniversary, will be presented to zoo visitors from Thursday. As the youngest members of the panda family at the amusement park Everland in Yongin, south of Seoul. The twins, both female, were born at the amusement park in July. Their sibling, Fubao, was the first panda to be born in South Korea in 2020.
Royal Royal Caribbean's colossal cruise liner Icon of the Seas, touted as the world's largest cruise ship globally, docked in Ponce, Puerto Rico in preparations for its inaugural journey from Miami on January 27th. The giant vessel made its way to the Caribbean ahead of its highly anticipated launch.
The massive cruise drew curious gazes from locals and tourists alike, eager for a preview, noting its presence at the port would attract tourism and improve the local economy. After setting sail from Alegria, Spain on December 23rd, the Icon of the Seas embarked on a 9-day transatlantic voyage to reach its current location. The ship is undergoing final inspections and preparations to ensure everything is ready for its debut journey. The 1,198-foot or 365-meter ship has 20 decks with capacity to accommodate up to 10,000 people.
Now on our sports segment, we have Karolina Pliskova give Naomi Osaka a reality check on her return to the tournament tennis by rallying for a 3-7, 6-4, 6-4 victory in a high-quality second-round clash at the Brisbane International.
Osaka had eased through her first tour match in 15 months on Monday after taking time out of the game to have a child. But former world number one Pliskova proved an altogether tougher prospect. The contest started well for 4-time Grand Slam champion Osaka after she banged down 5 aces to lock up the opening set in 37 minutes against her rusty-looking opponent who had received a bye through the first round. Osaka will take plenty of positives out of the contest, not least the 14 aces she pounded down, as she looks ahead to her return to Grand Slam action at the January 14th to 28th Australian Open, a tournament she won in 2019 and 2021.
2 sets to 1, 3-6, 7-6.
And that wraps up today's editions of Newswatch. I'm Stephanie Silitonga. Thanks for watching and bye for now.